We shall begin chapter 6 of physics class 11, work, energy and power. The terms work, energy and power are frequently used in everyday language. A farmer ploughing the field, a construction worker carrying bricks, a student studying for a competitive examination, an artist painting a beautiful landscape, all are said to be working. In physics, however, the word work covers a definite and precise meaning. Somebody who has the capacity to work for 14 to 16 hours a day is said to have a large stamina or energy. Energy is thus our capacity to do work. Scalar product. The scalar product or dot product of any two vectors A and B is defined as vector A dot vector B is equal to AB cos theta, where theta is the angle between A and B. So we have got two vectors, this is vector A and this is vector B. And suppose the angle between these two vectors is theta, then the dot product of A and B or the scalar product of A and B is defined by A dot B equal to AB cos theta. Okay, so that is the definition of scalar product. Geometrically, A dot B equal to AB cos theta. We can write this as A bracket B cos theta or B bracket A cos theta. This means that B cos theta for the first one is the projection of vector B onto vector A, and A cos theta, that is this part, is projection of vector A onto B. So if you draw a perpendicular from here, then this from here to here will be called B cos theta. Okay, so B cos theta is a projection of this vector B onto vector A. Okay, if you draw a perpendicular from vector A on B, then suppose I draw the perpendicular, it will come somewhere here. So this distance will be called A cos theta. That is, A cos theta is the projection of A onto B. A dot B is the product of the magnitude of vector A and the component of vector B along A. Alternatively, it is the product of the magnitude of vector B and the component of vector A along vector B. So A dot B is, in another way we can say that it is the product of the magnitude of A and the component of B along A. Okay, so this is product of vector A and this is a component, this B cos theta, what you say, as a component of B along A. Okay, this way, A B cos theta. So B cos theta is the component of vector B along vector A, and A cos theta is the component of vector A along B. Okay, it will be over here. When you draw perpendicular here, it will be over here, right? So that is what another way we can say that A dot B means it is the product of the magnitude of vector A and the component of B along A. Alternatively, we can say that it is the product of the magnitude of B and the component of vector A along vector B. Scalar product is commutative. That means if you change the order, the answer does not change. That is, A dot B equal to B dot A. Distributive law. A dot B plus C equal to, we can just multiply inside, that is A dot B plus A dot C. For lambda belongs to R, that is lambda is a real number, we can say vector A dot lambda vector B. This lambda which is scalar, we can just take out, we can say equal to lambda into vector A dot vector B. For unit vector I dot I, j dot j, k dot k equal to 1. If you have got the unit vector, that is I, j, k, the dot product of the unit vector with itself, answer is 1. But if we do dot product of I with j, j with k and k with I, then it will be 0. For two vectors A equal to AXI cap plus AYJ cap plus AZ cap and B equal to BXI cap plus BYJ cap plus BZK cap. If we are given the vectors in the component form, these are the component form, then we can find the dot product as A dot B equal to product of the I component plus product of the J component plus product of the K component. That is AX into BX. I dot I is 1. Then AY into BY, J cross J is 1. So AY, BY plus AZ into BZ, K dot K is 1. When you multiply I and J, I and K will be 0. So we do not write, okay? Only the I component, you have to find the product, J component product and K component product, okay? So AX, BX plus AY, BY plus AZ, BZ. Similarly, if suppose I have got instead of vector b, I do the dot product with itself, the vector itself, that is a dot a, that means a square. This can be written as ax, that is ax square, ay by will be ay square, and az bz will be az square. We can say this vector a dot vector a equal to magnitude of a into cos 0. Why cos 0? Because the theta or this angle is supposed to be the angle between the two vectors. Now a and a, they are the same vector, that means there is angle between the two vector a and a will be 0 and cos 0 is 1. So we can say this is as a square. Okay, so a dot a is equal to a square, and this is gives you the magnitude of vector a. Work energy theorem. First let us write the statement. The change in kinetic energy of a particle is equal to the work done on it by the net force. So the change in the kinetic energy is equal to the work done on it by the force. Okay, the change in kinetic energy equal to the work done on it by the force. For a rectilinear motion under constant acceleration a, we have v square minus u square is equal to 2as, where s is the displacement or distance traversed, v and u are the v is a final and u is the initial speeds. Okay, rectilinear means the straight motion. Okay, so for that we have got the formula for a constant acceleration a, v square minus u square equal to 2as. These are the velocities. This is final velocity or final speed and initial speed, and a is acceleration, s is the distance traversed. Okay, so this I have written, where v and u are the final and initial speeds and s is a distance traversed. Now multiply by 1 by 2 into m. So multiply both the side or each term by 1 by 2 m or m by 2. So when you multiply here 1 by 2 m v square minus 1 by 2 m u square equal to 1 by 2 m into 2as. These 2 and 2 you cut, so you get here mas, right? Now by Newton's second law we know that ma is nothing but the force F. So this value can be written as Fs, right? So we can say this from here 1 by 2, this I am writing as it is, mv square minus 1 by 2 mu square equal to this value as F into S. Now this is in straight motion, right? Now suppose you have got a 3-dimensional, okay, in 3 dimension, that is in a space. Then for that we will write as vector quantity. Okay, so this is 1 by 2 mv square minus 1 by 2 mu square equal to, the force is vector force and s will be the displacement, that is vector d. Okay, so that is d is a displacement vector and f is the force. Okay, that is also a vector. The left side of the equation is the difference in the quantity, half the mass times the square of the speed from its initial value to its final value. So this is the left side. You can see that this is a difference, right? Difference of the half of the mass times the speed of the initial final velocity and initial velocity. Okay, each of these quantity is called kinetic energy, denoted by K, and this quantity we call it as the kinetic energy. Okay, these quantities, each of these quantities are called kinetic energy and we denote it by capital K or Ke. So this is kinetic energy, this is kinetic energy. Okay, the right side is the product of the displacement and the component of force along the displacement. This quantity is called work and it is denoted by W. And this quantity is F dot D, right? This we call it as, it is the product of the displacement D and the component of force along the displacement. Okay, we just now saw the scalar product. So this is scalar product of F and D, force and the displacement. So this quantity we call it as the work and it is denoted by capital W. Okay, so this is work done and it is denoted by capital W. So we can write from this equation, this we can write as this, I am calling as a kinetic energy, this as a kinetic energy and this as a work. So this is for the final kinetic energy, initial kinetic energy and the work done. So we can write this as a Kf, okay, K, that is kinetic energy final, minus kinetic energy initial equal to work done. Okay, where Ki and Kf are initial and final kinetic energy. So this is the work energy theorem. Okay, the statement was the change in kinetic energy of a particle is equal to the work done on it by the net force. So the change in the kinetic energy equal to the work done, right? This is the statement which we have proved. Next we have got work. The work done by the force is defined to be the product of component of the force in the direction of the displacement and the magnitude of this displacement. So this is the definition of work, and mathematically we can say that W work equal to F cos theta into D. So this can be written as vector F dot vector D. Okay, you can see here there is a block. The force is applied here, and this the displacement I have shown from the center point of this to here. Okay, after applying the force you are pulling in here, that time the box is moving and reaching up to here. So this displacement starting from here, it has reached this much. So this is the displacement. So the angle between D, that is displacement, and the force is theta, right? So the work done or work is defined as F cos theta D equal to vector F dot vector D, or you can just simply say dot product of force and the displacement, that is shown here in the figure. Now when we say the work is not done, okay, so there are three possibilities. First one is that the displacement D is equal to 0. There is no displacement as much as force you apply, but there is no displacement. Then you call that the work is not done. Okay. Then force F equal to 0. So if you are not applying any force, then you say that the work is not done. And thirdly, when F and D are perpendicular to each other, that is force, the force is perpendicular to the displacement, that time also there will be no work done. Why? Because you know that the formula is F cos theta D. Theta is 90 degree because F and D are perpendicular. So if theta is 90 degree, we know cos 90 is 0. That means F into D will be 0 because 0 into F into D, so it is 0. So work done will be 0. So if they are mutually perpendicular, force and the displacement, then also work is not done. Now work can be positive also and negative also. When? So if the theta, it is depending on the theta, if theta is between 0 to 90, that means cos theta is positive, okay, in the first quadrant, and cos theta is positive, that means work done will be positive. Okay. Secondly, if theta is between 90 to 180, that time cos theta is negative, and we say that the work will be negative. Then dimension of work and energy is m L2 T minus 2. SI unit of work and energy is joule, and we use the symbol capital J. So the SI unit and the dimension for work and energy are same. Okay, for work and energy the dimension is m L2 T2, for both it is same, and SI unit for work and energy also is same, that is joule. Okay, so that is about work. Example 6.1. Find the angle between the force F is equal to 3I cap plus 4J cap minus 5K cap unit and displacement vector D equal to 5I cap plus 4J cap plus 3K cap unit. Also find the projection of F on D. Here force is given to you 3I cap plus 4J cap minus 5K cap. Okay, it is given in a vector form, and the displacement D is given as 5I cap plus 4J cap plus 3K cap. This is also given in a vector. We have to find the theta, that angle between F and D. So let theta be the angle between F and D. Now I gave you the formula, this one, A dot B equal to AB cos theta. From here cos theta will be vector A dot vector B divided by, this you transfer A and B here, so divide by A into B. Okay, so that is what I am using here. So cos theta is equal to F dot D divided by magnitude of F into magnitude of D. This is also magnitude of F, A and B. Okay, A dot B equal to AB cos theta. So cos theta equal to vector A dot vector B divided by magnitude of A into magnitude of B. Okay, so same thing is written here, cos theta equal to vector F dot vector D divided by magnitude of F into magnitude of D. F dot D, so write as like the value of F. F value is given this, I write here 3I plus 4J minus 5K dot D, this one 5I plus 4J plus 3K divided by the magnitude. So magnitude is under the square root 3 square plus 4 square plus minus 5 square. And for this the magnitude of D will be, this magnitude of D will be under the square root, taking the coefficients of I, J, K for vector D, that is square root of 5 square plus 4 square plus 3 square. Now the dot product already we know, it is 3 into 5, that is 15, 4 into 4, that is plus 16, minus 5 into 3, that is minus 15. Here under the square root 3 square is 9 plus 4 square is 16 plus minus 5 square is 25 into 5 square is 25 plus 4 square is 16 plus 3 square is 9. 15 plus 15 minus cut, you get here 16. This 9 plus 16 plus 25 is 50, so square root of 50. square root of 25 plus 16 plus 9, this sum total is also 50, so square root of 50. So 50 square root into 50 square root gives you 50. So 60 by 50, if you divide this, you get 0.32. We have to find theta. That means if this cos, if you transfer over here, you can write theta equal to cos inverse of 0.32. So the angle between F and D is cos inverse 0.32. They have also asked us to find the projection of F on D. So that formula will be F dot D equal to, F dot D means vector F given to us 3i cap plus 4j cap minus 5k cap, and D also given 5i cap plus 4j plus 3k. The dot product is given as 3 into 5, 15, 4 into 4 plus 16, minus 5 into 3 minus 15. So 15 minus 15 cut, you get 16. So that is the projection of F on D. Example 6.2. It is well known that a raindrop falls under the influence of the downward gravitational force and the opposing resistive force. The latter is known to be proportional to the speed of the drop, but is otherwise undetermined. Consider a drop of mass 1 gram falling from a height 1 kilometer. It hits the ground with a speed of 50 meters per second. Part A. What is the work done by the gravitational force? What is the work done by the unknown resistive force? We are given here mass of the drop, raindrop, that is m is equal to 1 gram. Convert into kg, that is 10 power minus 3 kg. Height h is equal to 1 kilometer, that can be converted to meter, that is 10 power 3 meter. Speed v equal to 50 meter per second. Now part A is change in kinetic energy of drop. Initially we consider that it is at rest. Then it is given as delta k, change in kinetic energy, delta k equal to 1 by 2 mv square minus 0. So initially we are considering at rest, so 0. Okay, this is initial, this is final. So 1 by 2 mv square is equal to 1 by 2 m. The mass is given to 10 power minus 3 into the velocity or the speed is given to 50. So 50 square means 50 into 50. If you simplify, you get 1.25 joule. Work done by gravitational force F is equal to mg and D is equal to displacement, that is h. Okay, because it is falling under the force of the gravitation. So the work done by the gravitational force Wg equal to the force F, that is mg, and the displacement D, that is h. Okay, I am using the formula W is equal to F into D. Okay, the formula is F into D, that is what I am using. So mg is the force, that is because of the gravitational force, and this displacement is the height, so it is h. Okay, so h here. Now m is the mass given to us is this 10 power minus 3, and g is the acceleration due to gravity, that is we consider here 10, and height is given to us 10 power 3 equal to this 10 power minus 10 power 3 you can cut, so you get here 10 joule. So that is the answer for part 1. And for part B it is from work energy theorem, delta k equal to Wg plus Wr. What is Wr? It is a work done by resistive force on the raindrop. So delta k value we found here 1.25, put the value. Wg we found here 10 plus Wr as it is. 10 transfer over here, so you get here Wr equal to 1.25, and this you transfer, so minus 10, which gives you minus of 8.75 joule. So that is the answer or solution for example 6.2. Example 6.3. A cyclist comes to a skidding stop in 10 meter. During this process, the force on the cycle due to the road is 200 Newton and is directly opposed to the motion. Part A. How much work does the road do on the cycle? Part B. How much work does the cycle do on the road? From the given question, we have distance traveled D equal to 10 meter. The friction force Ff equal to 200 Newton. Work done on the cycle by the road is work done by the stopping frictional force on the cycle due to the road. Now part A, the stopping force and displacement makes an angle 180 with each other, right? Because you know the cycle is going in one way and the friction force is opposite to it. That means the angle between the stopping force and the displacement will be 180 degree. Okay, the angle between the cycle is moving in this direction, right? You can know the cycle moves, suppose moving this direction, and the friction will be in this direction. Okay, cycle moves like this and the friction force is this side, so opposite, and they are in 180 degree. So angle between them is 180 degree. Therefore work done by the rod is WR is equal to FD cos theta. Okay, we are using the formula of F dot D, that is FD cos theta. F value is given to us 200, D is 10, cos and theta we know that is 180. Cos 180 is minus 1. Okay, so it is minus, and 200 to 10 gives you minus 2000 joule. It is the negative work that brings the cycle to a halt in accordance with work energy theorem. So the negative work will stop the cycle. Okay, brings the cycle to halt means it stops the cycle. And for part B we can write it as, from Newton's third law, an equal and opposite force acts on the rod due to the cycle. Its magnitude is 200 Newton. However, the rod undergoes no displacement, therefore work done by cycle on the rod is 0. Now we know that by Newton's third law that there is equal and opposite force acts on the rod and on the cycle, right? But now here what happens, so magnitude will be the same. So magnitude of the force is 200 Newton, but we know that the rod is not moving, it is stationary, it remains steady, right? So rod does not do any displacement, therefore we know that there is no work done. Work done is not there because displacement is not there. So the work done by cycle on the rod is 0. Okay, we already saw that when the work is not done. Okay, when the displacement is 0, work is not done. When force is 0, work is not done. And when force and displacement are perpendicular, then work is not done. So here in this case, the rod is stationary, it will not move. That means displacement is 0. So we can say the work done is 0 by the cycle on the rod. Okay. So that is what we'll answer for the question example 6.3. We'll keep this much for today. Thank you very much.